Okay, you guys, so this is a following update in India. I wanted to let this be known. This is very important because this could be coming somewhere near you. And not only that, but, India and America, they're having really close ties as of right now. And there's rumors in play saying that they may become the next superpower. So let's just keep an eye on them. Also, just for future reference, I know for a fact that India has a lot to do with possibly the beast system, but overall, end time prophecy. The Lord showed me this 11 years ago. Okay? So, what is going on right now in India is basically they have a 21-day shutdown period. They were given 4 hours notice in advance that they were going to be completely and utterly locked into their homes for 21 days, not to step foot outside. Okay? That is a very long time to be shut into a house. It got so bad that they were actually beating people at the markets to send them home. Okay? This is crucial because this could happen anywhere. It really could. And it's showing how literally a 4 hour time span, life could just completely and utterly change. Also, I want to look at the times that they're being shut in and the time that this occurred. So this started on the 24th of March, which is very interesting because that was the new moon, which we entered into the month of Nisan, the first month, the Passover month, and also known as Abiv, which is the month of life and springtime and greenery. Very interesting time that they would shut everyone down. And also, I wanted to note that 21 days is a very interesting time frame. 21 actually represents a rebellion and sin. It's interesting because usually people go on a 14-day quarantine. So it seems to me like they're trying to say something with the number 21. So be very careful with what these people are doing here. This is known as like a Daniel fast, things of that nature. Usually deals with like Babylon times. So I do want to note that this is a very important occurrence to keep an eye on this. I want to know what happens in 21 days. See what what's going to transpire over there. I also feel like they're trying to hide them from the sky. Remember, this is my theory that I've been putting in place. I said something significant would happen in India, and I feel like they're trying to keep them away from being outside for a very specific and probably prophetic moment in history.
The world in eradicating two silent killers or eliminating them in the country. Smallpox, one of the greatest successes of mankind, a virus that killed more people on this planet than all the wars put together. India, through targeted public health intervention, ended that disease and gave a great gift to the world. India also eliminated polio, another silent killer, and did a tremendous job on surveillance and finding cases and vaccinating and doing all the things that need to be done. So India has tremendous capacities. All countries have tremendous capacities. When communities are mobilized, when civil society is mobilized, when, as the Director General says, heads of state and governments drive an all of society approach. There are no silver bullets here. There are no easy answers. If there were, we wouldn't be having to work so hard. We've got measures we can take now while we wait for other solutions, and we must take them now. So it's exceptionally important.
You know, what I find really interesting is that all this stuff about India is starting to resurface, okay? A lot of things that I've known just through my research and trying to figure out what truly happened in history and why we're so blind. One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of the people in the Middle East and, on that land over there, they always claim that the Westerners try to suppress everything and try to hide everything. And by Westerners, they're talking about the Europeans. They're talking about, Americans. America started, with Europeans. So as you can see, there's a hidden agenda here. It's clear that India, they're saying that India led the world in this eradication of smallpox and polio, and now the coronavirus. They're taking lead again. So what's going on here? What is this history that we have no idea, that's not written in history books? Clearly, we're going back to ancient times and ancient belief systems. Apparently, India was leading in being the most hygienic nation that has ever lived, including their irrigation systems that were found in the Indus Valley civilizations. There's a lot about India that we clearly are clueless about. And I don't know, just the Lord made it very clear to me that something about India is big and is going to all come to light at the end of days. As we can see, they're rising up, and there's just something very interesting just going on here. Okay? Also, we know about Chinese medicine. I always studied into Chinese medicine and Indian medicine. I thought they were the same. I really did. Sorry about that. I really thought they were the same concept, but and they are, and they do go hand in hand, especially in ancient times. However, as we can see here, India is actually turning against China. They're actually really annoyed with China, and they're doing all that they can to eradicate this. They want nothing to do with this. They're disgusted by it. But in past history was smallpox, because smallpox was like one of the first epidemics. It is leprosy. Okay, it's variola, which is the connecting factor of this condition, which is syphilis. Just so disgusting. And smallpox would wipe people out even in ancient times. This was leprosy. So apparently in China, they say China, but really China and India area, okay? What they did was they would take scabs from off of the smallpox. They would dry them out in the sun and crush them into a powder and then snort it during very disastrous times of this smallpox epidemic. And they would lower their chances of getting it to the point of death, or just lower the chances of getting it, period, by doing this, because they are making the disease become part of them. They're basically, something genetically happens to people when they take on this bacteria or virus. It is actually called venom. That is the original name for virus, means venom. And this is very biblical, where the Lord talks about getting bit by the snake. And as you can see, this right here, this is a medical, this is used in our medical symbolism, the snake on the pole. And it's also used with the United Nations and all these things. Okay? So, the snake on the pole, clearly it's showing that it's venom, it's venomous, it's poisonous, and it's toxic. And this is how this all started. Now, the Lord created leprosy for the people to turn to him and turn from their wicked ways, but instead people are going even more wicked routes by creating these vaccines, which, by the way, back in the old day, they would call it some form of inoculation. But anyway, they have now, killed babies in the name of science. Hitler, if you look into him and what his true ambitions were during the Holocaust, He was trying to create a new race. He was trying to completely edit the genetic DNA and create the perfect human. So he would run experiments on all kinds of people to create what he thought would be a perfect Aryan race, okay? Which is why, people are always like, well, he was also Jewish. Yes, he didn't care about Jewish people. He took everybody in. He took in all kinds of people. Majority Jewish, of course, because he had a lot of hatred, obviously. But as you can see here, that this has been the plan all along. The plan all along has been to edit DNA. The plan all along has been to completely shake fists at God and deny him and deny his miracles and deny his power and deny his healing so that man can take it into their own hands and try to heal themselves and try to be great and try to be heroes. As you can see, they're all patting each other on the backs. As you can see, this brings the world together. India is all about unity and coming together to solve these problems in the name of science and in the name of mankind. Where is God in all of this? Where is God in all of this? God is not present in these people's thoughts. Jesus told Peter, "Behind me, Satan, because your thoughts are not of God, they're of man."